Let's review Yggdra Union for the PlayStation Portable, developed by Sting and published by Atlus in 2006. This is a brilliant strategy game with unique game mechanics. Since the game is so good, you're going to hear me praise it a lot, but don't be fooled. This game isn't for everyone. This game whooped my butt and I'm still sore from mission number 44. This game can be mean, confusing, and unfair, kind of like real life. Unless you're totally okay with restarting missions, this game isn't for the faint of heart. The first thing that stands out is the art. The art is charming, dynamic, and effective. The battle portraits are some of the most lively in any game, and they expertly convey motion and a dynamic pose in a static image. The energy and personality also carries to the user interface. It makes masterful use of techniques to focus the user's attention and creates a flow of information that works. In a game without story cutscenes, the UI serves its purpose as a support narrator to give impact when a character dies or when a building is set on fire. The music is top-notch. Each track delivers the mood perfectly. The dialogue is concise, yet full of character and masterfully written. It is in a conversational style, with lots of use of interjections. The voice acting is superb and the story is great. I could sum up the game's mechanic into 2 words, which are, it's complicated. But that won't do the game justice, so let's get through this. At the beginning of a turn, we pick a card. If you run out of cards in a battle, then it's game over, so the number of cards is the number of turns you have to finish the mission. On the card it shows 4 things, which are the weapon type, the movement rating, the power rating, and the skill. The movement value in a card is the total number of spaces you can move your units collectively in a turn. If your card has 12 for its movement value, and you move a single unit 12 spaces, then none of the other units can move on that turn. The weapon type is the unit type that can use the skill on the card. The power is the morale damage you deal to the enemy if you win the battle. A unit's health is called morale. If your morale goes to 0, your unit retreats or dies. You lose morale when you lose a battle. This means you must win the battle in order to deal damage. It doesn't matter if you attack the same enemy a million times. If you don't win the battle, you don't deal any damage at all, and you will take damage instead. The final piece of information in the card is the skill. To understand how skills work, we need to talk about how units attack each other. When a unit attacks another unit, you will be brought to the battle screen. In the battle screen, your units are on the left and the enemy is on the right, each represented by 8 sprites. You will have 8 sprites regardless if your morale is full or if your morale is almost depleted. This means that a unit that is almost dead still has full combat capabilities as a fresh unit. In the beginning of the battle, the initiating unit attacks, and then the other side will counterattack. Then the units will start hitting each other until only one side is left standing. Morale damage will be dealt to the losing side, while the winner suffers no morale damage. When the units are hitting each other, the skill gauge will be displayed. You can press left on the direction pad to sacrifice combat power to charge the skill gauge, or press right on the direction pad to drain the skill gauge but gain combat power. When the skill gauge is full and you match the card's condition, you can use the skill. This is all real time, and juggling the skill gauge is a key part of mastering battle. Beware, because enemies will use skills too. Right now, we've only talked about cards. We haven't talked about unions, items, battle stats, character traits, terrain, the 2 weapon triangles, catapults, or cannons. This game's battle system is very deep, and the more you play, the more you master it. I can definitely see this game continue to shine after many playthroughs, thanks to its complex and deep mechanics. Let's at least talk about unions because it's in the title. You can only order one attack command per turn, but any nearby allies and enemies will join the battle. This is called a union. If a male character initiates or is initiated on, allies up to 2 units diagonally in any direction will join the attack. If it's a female character, any unit up to 2 units perpendicular to the character will join the attack. If there are more units on one side, then the units from the other side will have to fight multiple times, with each time starting with fewer sprites. Finally, let's talk about the game's extreme difficulty. You can't grind levels in repeated battles. Morale doesn't recover between battles. The battle system is complicated, and there are a ton of factors to consider when making a strategy. If you're playing this game for the first time without a guide like I did, you're going to be caught off guard many times. Trial and error is the best way to learn, and once you've seen the threat, you can strategize around it next time. This scratches the surface of what this game has to offer, but I invite you to dig in and see for yourself. There is a Nintendo Switch remake, and it's also available on the Windows and mobile phones. This game is a gem, but probably not for everyone due to the difficulty and complexity. You can check my YouTube playthrough in the description below. Thanks for watching and happy gaming!